Somebody else has to do that? It's going to be Chris's job.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I'd like to call the meeting back to order at 7:16 p.m. First thing that we're going to do is I am appointing Chris Abramson to take over my role as financial liaison, and he has willingly accepted that role. And we're going to do a roll call so we know everybody is here.
Mayor Mary Coble.
Here.
Trustees Richmond.
Present.
George Duberstein.
Here.
Abramson.
Here.
Georgianne Duberstein. Here. And Williams.
Here.
Joke. We're going to move on to business. I need a motion to approve a resolution designating public depository and authorizing withdrawal of public monies.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion for the approval of professional services agreement for ongoing planning services, Household Levine and Associates. Motion? So moved.
Second.
Second? No second.
Second.
Discussion?
So, question. So, will they work with us on the comprehensive plan also?
That's what they do, yeah.
Okay.
They've already done that.
Yep.
No, but it's the implementation of it. Yeah.
Any other discussion?
Just one question. The House of Levine will be helping with updating our zoning ordinances. Is that correct?
Yes, they would be part of that.
Is there anything we need to do in the next year to update our zoning to be in compliance with any state or county changes? Or would House of Levine advise us if something came up?
Yeah, there's no changes that you need to make relative to the county. The county has no jurisdiction over zoning matters. The state does have jurisdiction and consent zoning requirements, but it would be more likely to be court cases that come down from time to time. But there really isn't anything that's out of date. What I think they would be doing is looking at your ordinances and deciding if they are up to date with your community goals and or a comprehensive plan, more so than saying you should change this. So they've been around and they have been using their code for some time. They're very experienced planning firm and do a good job with that experience. So with the municipalities and
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion for the approval of task order 16-R0237.06 for Northbrook Sports Club compliance not to exceed $6,000 for Robinson Engineering.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Does this go back to the same situation where we've been talking about for a bit?
For their stormwater?
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw in the proposal that if there's corrective action needed, there's a report that goes on that. Who's responsible for tracking that? Is that us? Is that?
Robinson does.
Robinson will do the inspections and submit the reports.
Okay. But then as far as any remediation or anything of the corrective actions, they will track that for the village and then report that back to us.
And the gun club has to do it. It's their job to do it. We don't, it's not our job.
Okay.
The only thing that's left on that particular project is monitoring the growth of the seed that they planted after they repaired the ditch. That's what they have to monitor
5 years.
Open.
Okay.
Okay. And it's a yearly
Annual.
annual. Mhm.
The repairs have all been approved.
Roll call?
Just one other question. Will the Robinson be doing on-site review of it or just reviewing the reports that are coming in from the gun club?
Robinson will do the inspections.
It'll be out there. Okay. Anything else? Okay, roll call?
Trustees Richmond,
Aye.
George Duberstein,
Aye.
Abramson,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve the proposal to provide professional audit services to the Village of Hainesville for the year ended April 30th, 2025 for $39,000 with the option to renew for up to 4 additional fiscal years for Selden Fox. Just as a side note, this is what I talked about earlier. Scott Tremaine moved from his old company into the new company and was able to take some of the village local government with him.
So
Motion.
moved.
Second.
Discussion?
How does the price compare to the other company?
We were,
So in fiscal year '24, the village spent $53,152 for all the auditing services and all the different GASB requirements at that time. The prior fiscal year was $41,000. This proposal is $39,000.
Yay. Thank you.
anything else?
So we would end up, so we would vote for additional fiscal years if that comes to that. All right, okay. Thank you.
One quick question. If we decide to look at that, would we look at that this coming fiscal year? If we didn't want to renew with them for 4 more years?
If we didn't renew after this year, we would have to go through the whole process and look at it all again.
Okay, all right.
Okay, any other questions? Discussion? Roll call?
Trustees Richmond,
Aye.
George Duberstein,
Aye.
Abramson,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve Eubank's environmental proposal for landscape maintenance for June 2025 through December 2025 for $19,545.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Trustees Richmond,
Aye.
George Duberstein,
Aye.
Abramson,
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein,
Aye.
and Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve the ILM proposal for the 2025 Cranberry Lake Management, June 2025 through December 2025 for $19,500. Motion?
So moved.
So then.
Second?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, second.
Okay, discussion?
So then, after December 2025, then we would discuss the remaining of the contract? Okay.
Our question.
Yep.
I know we were excited, I guess, to, that's not the right word, but anyway, to have this contract for a month so they can get started. And we did the same thing for Eubanks, and I noticed him and his crew were out there doing stuff. I didn't see, and maybe I didn't look at the right places. I didn't see IOM doing anything. What did they do for that?
Nothing. I talked to Israel, and he said that they have not been out here.
They have been. They have been.
I saw the report.
Yeah, we got a report from Debbie.
Where,
And what would they
who got
do?
the report? I never saw a report.
Chair.
I got the report and I forwarded it to them. They completed their portion of the contract for paying.
For me.
Yeah, and what exactly did they do?
My memory's not that good.
I'd have to look at my phone to tell you.
You'd have to go back to the proposal.
Oh,
I pulled it up on my phone.
Did you? Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I can read it.
So what you're saying is they did whatever was in the contract?
Right. They
For
informed
the 1 month.
Yeah.
for the 1 month. So they did the site visit in May to manage, and this was just very recent. They managed the invasive, non-native vegetation and promoted growth of the native species. Management techniques utilized a combination of backpack, hand wicking, and broadcast herbicide applications, ecological mowing to occur as needed. So they completed this on the 21st.
What area are they doing this in?
Cranberry Lake.
Just the lake area over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was their first of 4 visits. They visit in the spring, summer, late summer, and fall.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried. I need a motion to approve a proposal for 21 wastewater air relief valve inspections by K&M Sewer and Water for $18,500.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Is this primarily for safety reasons?
These are the,
What these air relief valves do is they're in the sewer line. And that sewer line runs from our lift station, one side, from our lift station to Fox Lake. The line isn't level, so air can build up. These valves will pop and let the air out so the sewage can continue to flow. This is a maintenance plan. We started a number of years ago where we did half 1 year, half the other. But as more people are dumping more grease into the lines, we decided that it was necessary to do maintenance every year.
roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve the proposal for well house bolt replacements at 2 separate locations for $21,000. Motion?
Oh,
Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion for the approval of engineering services for fiscal year 2026 water reservoir and water tower improvements for $10,300 to Gaywell Hamilton. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion for the approval of the proposal for engineering services year 23 MS4 compliance for $8,200 to Gaywell Hamilton.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Does year 23 refer to 2023, or is
No.
this the 23rd?
23rd year.
Okay.
I asked that question myself. Like, is it a typo?
That's going to be my next.
Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion for the approval of professional construction engineering services fiscal year 2026 well number 4 construction not to exceed $48,000 for Gaywell Hamilton.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion to award the contract for the Grace Lake Hainesville Village sidewalk improvements in the amount of $14,480 to Miller Pipeline LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Just a curiosity, what will they actually be doing on the sidewalks and where would they be?
They've gone through and mapped out the sidewalks to see which ones are trip hazards, and they'll be fixing those in the priority level that they need to, worst to the least.
I noticed some of the sidewalks, concrete or whatever it's made out of is starting to deteriorate in certain areas.
Yep.
Are they gonna be looking at that as well?
I think that's the next one.
Okay, I think that's the next one, to repair and replace, yeah. This is to evaluate them.
So the whole, both sides, the east and the west side, village.
Yep.
Just not a question, but a comment from a former Hainesville resident who moved to Grace Lake. She said one of the first things she noticed is that Hainesville sidewalks are maintained much better than Grace Lake sidewalks. So give yourselves a pat on the back.
Yes. They, Public Works and Mayor Daley has been on that quite well. Okay, roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion for the approval of the proposal for the generator preventative maintenance for the, oops, I missed one, sorry. I need a motion to, thank you. I need a motion to approve the proposal for the evaluation, reporting, and saw cutting repairs of sidewalk not to exceed $8,000 to Safe Step LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I'm reading what's in there, but what's the difference between item 12 and 13?
12 is the,
That's 12.
Actually,
12 is the work, 13 is the evaluation.
yes.
Say again?
Yeah.
Actually, I asked Jerry that today,
Yeah, I
and he
think 12.
explained that the big sections, you know, the big square sections of the sidewalk
Yeah.
that need to be replaced will be under the $14,000 thing.
Okay.
And then the ones that just need to be shaved off or lifted up or whatever are done by the $8,000.
Correct.
Thank you.
Essentially what we did was we set aside $25,000 for sidewalk repair. Teamed up with Grays Lake so we could get better bids. And we had the walks evaluated, we've got a rating on each one of them. Public Works will go out with the company and designate which ones will be done.
So the things we're doing in conjunction with Grace Lake is just item number,
The 14,000, the repair and replace.
okay,
And that was all to get a better price.
well, yeah.
Any other discussion?
One question, if Grace Lake were not to approve their contract with one of these companies, would we still get this price?
Already approved.
Already approved.
And the second one, I don't think is with Grace Lake, that's just with us, right?
I'm still part of that.
The one that's just
8,000.
doing the shaving off.
That's not with Grace Lake.
That's what I said, it's not with Grace Lake, that's a separate contract.
Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I need a motion for the approval of the proposal for the generator preventative maintenance for the Village Hall, Public Works Building, and well houses for $6,844 to Rush Power Systems.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And I need a motion for the approval of the proposal of battery replacements and other necessary repairs for the generators at the Village Hall, Public Works Building, and well houses for $2,625.44 by Rush Power Systems.
So moved.
Why are these two?
Second.
Why are these two separate things?
One's an inspection, the other one's a
Actual
repair.
replacement. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Trustees Richmond.
Aye.
George Duberstein.
Aye.
Abramson.
Aye.
Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
And Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And finally, I need a motion to adjourn.
So, second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned at 7:36 p.m.
It's going to be a long list of business.